Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live channel episode, and today is the 1st of March 2021 and I bring you some breaking news. This news has broke within the past hour, so it is still really current, and I want to bring you all of the known facts at this time about Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. Now, as we know, the Duke of Edinburgh has spent the past 2 weeks, 13 nights as of yesterday, going into his third week in hospital. Now, he has been spending, let me just go through the timeline actually. I think that's always a good place to start, is right at the beginning. I will get to the official announcement in a moment, but it's always a good place to start right at the beginning. So just as an update, on the 16th of February, he was admitted to hospital. On the 27th, Charles visited for around 30 minutes. On the 22nd, Prince William said that his grandfather was okay during an interview. Then on the 23rd, Prince Edward also spoke about his grandfather. And then, of course, that's where he remained until today. So I'm going to by the way, hello and welcome to all the people who are just joining live in the chat. I will read some viewer comments in a moment, but I want to now go to a royal communication which has been released on Monday the 1st of March 2021, and I'll read what it says. So the palace says, the Duke of Edinburgh was today transferred from King Edward VII's Hospital to St Bartholomew's Hospital, where doctors will continue to treat him for an infection which we know about, as well as undertake testing and observation for a pre-existing heart condition. The Duke remains comfortable and is responding to treatment, but is expected to remain in hospital until at least the end of the week. So let's just kind of dissect that statement for a moment. So obviously they are confirming that the Duke of Edinburgh was transferred. So he's no longer in King Edward VII's Hospital. He has moved to St Bartholomew's. Now, I think the reason why, obviously, they've kept people updated and they've given a little bit more information this time around on his condition is because it's known that St Bartholomew's is a specialist hospital. It specialises in cardiac and cancer. So I think what they wanted to do, obviously, an ambulance was seen and there was a load of umbrellas trying to hide whoever it was getting into the ambulance. If I just show you a picture there. So there is the ambulance, and the hospital obviously has put up people with umbrellas, staff with umbrellas to shield whoever it is that's going into the ambulance. Now, Buckingham Palace has not confirmed whether or not that was Philip going in the ambulance. I should say that. There is also a video clip of this happening. The press did take the video, because obviously they've been outside the hospital. They took the video from a public road, so that's why obviously the hospital is shielding with the umbrellas. Like I say, it's not confirmed that that is Prince Philip, but it's highly likely that that was the moment when he was transferred to the new hospital. So I think they had to release something, because once word got out that he'd been transferred to this new specialist hospital, there would have been a lot of speculation over whether it was cardiac related or whether it was cancer. So I think they wanted to get it out there straight away that it was indeed for a pre-existing heart condition. And we have had in the past, comments about pre-existing conditions whenever he's been in hospital on previous occasions. I think lots of people thought, obviously, that it could be bladder related. And of course, the infection part of the illness could indeed be bladder related. But it seems like, obviously, there is a pre-existing heart condition as well. So yes, at the moment, he has a bit of a double whammy. But he's strong, he's robust. If anybody has, a strong will to get better, it is the Duke of Edinburgh. He's known for his just perseverance in the face of adversity. But a key thing to note in the statement is the Duke remains comfortable and is responding to treatment. So they are not saying the treatment for the infection is not working. They are saying he's responding. It's taking a long time. And I think that's down to age. It's definitely not down to will. I think Philip, definitely has the will to get better. I think he has still that lust for life, and he definitely wants to get himself better and return to the Queen, of course. But it's his age. You can't. It doesn't matter how much will you've got. If your body is nearly 100 years old, things are going to take a little bit longer to clear up. So I think, the fact that he's comfortable and responding to treatment is really, really good. I think that is a good sign, and I'm really pleased that they included that in the statement. But we do have an expectation that he will remain in hospital until at least the end of the week. At least. So if it does go beyond the end of the week, beyond sort of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's almost kind of what they're expecting. So a minimum is obviously the end of the week. I feel happy that he's moved obviously to a more specialist hospital. It kind of shows perhaps that that the infection may be, obviously it is responding to treatment. It seems like the pre-existing heart condition is more of a concern health-wise, because otherwise he'd have stayed where he was. I think they definitely need the expertise of the specialist hospital. So I'm going to go now and just read how the British press have reported on it. Prince Philip transferred to Second Hospital for heart condition tests. Obviously, they haven't strayed too far from the official announcement. Yeah, I mean, I'm just skimming it now. It doesn't really say anything different to what I've just read to you from the actual statement itself, so I'm not really going to reiterate anymore. I'm just scanning to see if there's anything extra that they've managed to glean, and I don't think there is. So, other than the Duke has received treatment for various health conditions over the years, including a blocked coronary artery in 2011. Yes, he did go into hospital for that, and of course the bladder infection in 2012, and exploratory surgery on his abdomen in June of 2013. So yes, this pre-existing heart condition obviously goes back to I think the coronary artery in 2011. And I don't think there's anything else. I'm just kind of, because this is a breaking story literally about an hour ago, I've got a load of screens open and I'm refreshing just to make sure that nothing else has come to light whilst I am on air. Yeah, like I said, he was taken, well, we think he was taken in an ambulance around 11:15. Like I said, that has not actually been confirmed that it was him in the ambulance. But we think the most likely scenario is that it's probably him. Obviously, we don't think he walked in. He was probably on a bed, as they normally do transfer patients. Just a little bit more about the St Barts Hospital. I'm just bringing up their web page, so I will read a bit more about that. They say, we're one of the country's leading specialist cardiac centres, offering state-of-the-art treatments for the full range of heart conditions. Well, that is actually, I mean, just that opening statement, I think, is quite reassuring that he is in safe hands, that he is in the country's leading specialist cardiac centre. We serve our local communities across London and Essex, but we'll also treat people from the rest of the UK. Our patients come first, and we provide the highest standards of care in truly world-class facilities. So this hospital is part of the National Health Service Trust. So Prince Philip has gone from the King Edward VII, which is a private hospital, to a National Health Service hospital, but they are still a specialist hospital. And yeah, I don't think, oh yeah, so if I look at the cardiology, they do cardiac rehabilitation, coronary angiography, coronary angioplasty. Some of these words, I don't know what they mean. But anyway, clinics including heart failure, device therapy, heart attack services, heart rhythm treatments, transcatheter aortic valve replacement, treatments for heart muscle disease, as well as advanced diagnostic procedures, cardiac. Yeah, so basically, it does everything. It really is an all-encompassing hospital, which is what he needs right now. For those of you just joining live, The royal communication, the official statement says, the Duke of Edinburgh was today transferred from King Edward VII Hospital to St Barts Hospital, where doctors will continue to treat him for an infection, as well as undertake testing and observation for a pre-existing heart condition. The Duke remains comfortable and is responding to treatment, but is expected to remain in hospital until at least the end of the week. We've had obviously no further royal visits to the King Edward VII Hospital. We do believe that literally Prince Charles was the only visit throughout his stay in that hospital. Right, I'm just going to kind of go back and kind of read some comments. Lots of people wishing the Duke of Edinburgh a very speedy recovery. Lots of people sending their prayers. I'm not going to read all of those, but there are so many people. If you want to go back after this chat's ended, you can go back and read the live chat comments. So you'll see all of those get well soons in there. Laurie says, continuing to pray for Prince Philip's recovery. Lauren says, I'm slightly reassured they have said he may be there a week. It feels like they know what they are dealing with. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's all to do with his age. It is going to be a lot slower. Healing is a little bit more slow as you get older, as you know. So I think it kind of falls into that kind of normal pattern of getting a person of that age up to speed. But Prince Philip, as I said before, is incredibly strong-willed, and he will be doing everything to get out of there, I'm absolutely sure. Gail says, praying for our dear Duke shall be restored to vim and vigour. Yes. Definitely, of which he is definitely known for. Sharona says the hospital sounds a lot like Harefield Hospital. I'm not familiar with Harefield, but I'll take your word for it. Lauren says, I really hope this is just routine, maybe a specialist in cardiology is at the other hospital. Well, one of the things, I don't know whether the infection could have done something with the pre-existing cardiac issue. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Maybe someone who might know a bit more might leave a comment after the video's gone live. But can an infection, perhaps bladder related, could that do something to the heart? Especially if you've got a pre-existing condition, I'm not entirely sure. But it could be all kind of linked and related. Lauren says, and also we should take comfort in the fact they have said he will be in. Yeah, and they have a plan, definitely. So I think it's really good that we got this update. I think it has kind of squashed a lot of speculation over why he would have been moved to that hospital. Like I said, the hospital also deals with cancer. So I think there would have been a lot of, speculation over what condition he would have been in that hospital for. So I'm glad that this brief communication was brief. It was to the point. It gave us the information that we needed to know. It also reassured people, and I think it's quite an honest and open statement, albeit quite short. They aren't going to go into great personal medical detail. The royals, with regards to their health matters, they are kind of a lot more guarded and private when it comes to their health, and that is considered to be a really private thing. However, as we know, with a lot of focus on the royal family, whenever they do go into hospital, people kind of want to know that it's not something serious. So just a little brief statement of this nature is normally what we would kind of expect, especially with a royal that's been in hospital for a certain amount of time as well. As you know, we've had updates in the past when, for example, Catherine has gone into hospital because of the early stages of pregnancy. We just get a little statement kind of saying that she's gone in, that she's pregnant and all the rest of it. So yes, this is kind of what I would have expected to see around about this point, especially if they've moved him from the hospital. KPF says any infection can subsequently put stress on the heart. Yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of getting at. So yeah, it could all be completely related. And Lauren says, I once had to be blue lighted to hospital because my heart was going so fast because of a water infection. Yeah, so it looks like it could be related, but we can't say that it definitely is because that hasn't been announced. But reading between the lines, it looks kind of like it could be related. So hopefully, if the water infection is is being treated and responding to treatment. That might also, you know, help with whatever the heart condition is as well. Laura Craig says, thank you for the update. You are more than welcome. Tashimanga, I think, is referencing Harry Potter with the Horcrux reference. And Janet says, prayers from Kentucky. You are more than welcome. Right, that is kind of all I have for you on this issue. I have kept you updated throughout Prince Philip's, the Duke of Edinburgh's stay in hospital. I don't know if we're going to... I know people will probably wonder, will there be any more royal visitations? I don't know. We still have, obviously, coronavirus going on. So I think the royal family are limiting visitations, obviously in line with the hospital's policies as well. People can visit hospitals in the UK. It's up to that individual hospital whether or not they feel they can operate COVID secure. Obviously, in a private hospital where the Duke of Edinburgh was previously, that's a lot more easy because there's less people, less patients, presumably a little bit less staff as well. So it's a less crowded space. A private hospital can be made more COVID secure. Now that he's in a National Health Service hospital, it really will be up to that hospital whether or not you know, he qualifies for a visit and whether or not they can do that COVID secure. So we don't know if there's going to be another royal visit. Could it be Charles again? Is he going to be the kind of designated visitor? Or will it perhaps be Princess Anne? I bet Princess Anne is really hoping to see her father in the flesh, I'm sure, because obviously they have a very close bond. I'm sure they will have been talking over Zoom and kind of online conversations, but there's nothing like visiting someone in the flesh. And I think a lot of people can agree with that. Right, so I'm going to leave it here. If you have enjoyed, well, I say enjoyed loosely because obviously it's not a very good subject for Prince Philip, but if you've enjoyed the fact that I've given you the news, please give the video a big old thumbs up. Please feel free to leave a comment. You never know who's reading the comments. And obviously share the video and subscribe to the channel, because whenever I hear any more news, I will come on and give you another update. So, from me in Shropshire, mwah to you all, and goodbye until next time, and stay safe.